Well, Tony, Gary Spikes, Dolores, Kathy, well, what do you say there, Hannah, Roger, Jean, Val? Welcome all the TikTok family. Denise, thank you so much for your contribution. Lorna, nice to see everybody on a Friday evening. Liana, you're number 7. All right, Liana. Welcome, number 7, coming around the bend. Nice to have you in the show. So everybody's tuning in. Nice to have you there. So we are broadcasting live right outside Louisville, Kentucky. And what about you, Jennifer?
I'm in Pass Christian, Mississippi.
Oh, interesting. So, a shout out to all the TikTok family that talked to today. And make sure, if you're not a subscriber out there on YouTube or the TikTok, sign up because you get a lot of perks and a lot of benefits when we go filming and a lot of backstage VIP and a lot of other stuff. But anyways, welcome, round of applause. And thank you to Irene, broadcasting from Japan on her network. Yes, thank you, Irene. And why is everybody talking about fried chicken today? Angela sent me a chicken.
Oh, no.
I know, right? So, Irene, you and your chicken, welcome. So nice to have you all. Let's see here. Announcements. Going to Michigan. I don't know. I have trying to get hold of Brian. Definitely going to Arizona. That is still in the books. So I got your messages for the show. I'll drop all my links in there. Thank you all so much for the contributions and stuff for helping with that. Thank you all, man. $2, $5, $1. Who cares, man? It's great. Thank you all. Irene, yes. You always crack me up because you see spirits. But anyways, I love you to death, Irene. Thank you for you and your followers in your channel. Thank you so much. Round of applause for you, Irene. So, Jennifer, part 2 that we've been working on, right, on this case. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know about what we do, if you have a case that is missing persons, a cold case, unsolved murder, or whatever it may be, feel free to send that information to Jennifer, myself, or to the show. We'll take a look at it and review it and put it in line and to process it. Hey, Mort, welcome to the show. And we'll go from there. We always like to have viewers send in cases, and all the admins and moderators of all the Facebook groups out there that lets us broadcast in these other groups that are dealing with all these unsolved cases as well. Thank you. Greatly appreciate it. So 3 missing person cases. This is like unheard of, especially for us doing 3 at one time. What do you think about that?
It's crazy. I'm so excited to hear what the panel has to say. I've been internet, just looking up stuff on the internet. There's just so many different theories about this. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear what they got. And I think I have some new information. I don't know if we covered it last week or not. New to us, not new.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think anybody on our panel has ever worked on 3 at one time. So I was like, when she brought this up, I was like, wow, what do you think about doing a trio? And I'm like, what? At once? And I was like, why not? And I got one person was like, 3. And I'm like, let's try 3. And however, this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is what everybody received. This actual photograph is what I submitted to the panel and nothing else. That's it. That's the only thing they received. So let's dive right into the case and let's see who's ready. So let me remove this off the screen. And, Angela's smiling. So, here they go. All right, Angela, come on down. Welcome, Angela.
All righty. If you can put them back on the screen, because I decided since we're doing 3, that I was going to move from one person to the next, and I would focus the energy and do this while I'm on the air with you, as opposed to ahead of time.
Absolutely. There you go.
Okay. All right. So the first person I'm drawn to is the lady with the brown hair, the younger lady. I keep getting pain in the center of my forehead, a lot of pain in my head. I keep seeing a car, but I see like a white car. It's like maybe an Impala. It's definitely more long. The first rune I got for her was Burkana. So I got that she was like a very gentle person, a very gentle personality, a very kind person. The next rune I got for her is Ansus. So she has a smart head on her shoulders. I keep seeing her being taken, like taken in this white vehicle. And it feels like it's maybe a 70s model vehicle. And it is like a white Chevy of some kind. Is a male responsible. And I keep getting overpowered. And I feel like she's not far from where she was last seen. And it feels like there is a field, or there was a field at the time where she was left in. And I felt that this perpetrator has been in prison before, that he has a record, and that he's known, and that he's a suspect, and has been a suspect for a while in it, and that he'll be eventually be linked. And then the next person, okay, the next person is okay. So the one that's in the top right. So the next person, the first impression I get from her is sort of like she's very carefree. She doesn't feel like she has a care in the world. But I also, when I'm picking up on her, it just feels like she's very like vulnerable and not very aware of her surroundings, which was a factor in her disappearance. And I kept getting, I get this rune for her. I get Helgalas, which is interference, disruption, chaos. I just see like she was like at a gas station, and it just seems like there's chaos just erupted around her. It just feels like there was multiple perpetrators in her disappearance. And I see a van involved in her disappearance, and it feels like she was taken out of state. And I feel like she was, or in some sort of ring of some kind, where they incorporated her into, and that she was moved around for quite some time. I don't see her deceased yet. They're not telling me much about how she came to an end, whether she's deceased or not. I'm trying to get a response on that. I feel like she is deceased, but it feels like she was been a long time, like in this ring, like she kept being moved around. And the person on the bottom, the lady on the bottom, I get a sense of kindness and a very good head on her shoulders. She's very smart. It feels like when I pick up the room for her, I get Nadi's, which is more like a sense of desperation. It feels like she was in a very desperate state of mind at the time around her disappearance. And the next rune I get is Kenya. So Kenya's is guidance. I just felt like that she tried to create a new life for herself, but it just went in the wrong direction. And then the last rune I got is Ing. It felt like that she just kind of went away. Like she tried to create this new life, and it just all went wrong. It just all went haywire, which is why we can't find her. I just feel like that she's not in a good place mentally now. It's like she had some sort of mental breakdown and is being somewhere institutionalized, or in a state where she should be institutionalized. I felt like what ended up happening is like she's lost somewhere, but she doesn't know who she is anymore. She doesn't. It's almost like she has amnesia. What I was getting the impression of.
Interesting. Very interesting. Thank you, Angela. Stand by. So, yeah, Denise, it's very sad that 3 people actually turned up missing. And once we go over the details of the case, it is very disturbing how it all unfolds. We won't say anything about it because we have other people coming forward. So let's see. Next up, I'm not going to say his famous saying, but we'll bring him up. Christopher, welcome. Christopher?
Yes. All right.
Welcome, Christopher. Hello there.
Yeah. Okay, so I got my notes right here, and so this was very, very interesting. And right away, I kept picking up on the number 3, which equals 3 missing people. One of them, I kept hearing the name Save Me or Stacy. I couldn't figure out if it was Save Me or Stacy. I had that, and it was very prominent in my remote viewing. And I had a feeling like she was friends with all 3 of them, like they were all like one group, one like school group or hangout group. And I kept feeling like they were going to like a graduation, a party afterwards, almost like a like maybe like a camp out or a sleepover, like in the backyard of one of the friends' house. And there was food and snacks and drinks. Also, I kept picking up on a gentleman. And this gentleman, I believe, was a friend of the families, or at least had been a friend of the families. And he was had a feelings for one of the girls, and but yet she didn't have the same feelings back for him. And I kept feeling like that possibly like maybe him, and I kept feeling like another gentleman. There was another gentleman, and the one that's the friend of the families, he's in his mid-30s, and the other one's slightly bit older in his early 40s. I kept feeling like the 2 of them like went into this together, and there was some kind of like deal where, okay, like you let me have the girl I'm looking for or wanting, and then you can have the other 2. And what I was picking up on was like an abandoned building or house. I kept feeling like it was somewhere out in like the wooded areas, and I kept thinking and feeling like this place is where the older gentleman maybe knows about, and I feel like it was an abandoned place, and that's where they took the 3 girls. But I don't think anybody will find it because I kept feeling like the place has since been burnt down or demolished. And as far as the girls, I feel like they were or could possibly be in or around that area, but they're no longer living. And that was what I picked up on.
All right, Christopher, thank you very much. Good job. And stand by. All right, next up, Kelly Jo, welcome. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, the first lady that I picked up on was the black and white picture, and she feels like that's what started it all. And then it feels all connected. The one girl, the one on the left, there was sexual intention from an older man for her, and I feel strangulation with that one. The other lady, it feels like 2 men, both around the same age, did it. The black and white photo, and then the little blonde, she knew her perpetrators, and she was drowned in water. So if they can find the water, because I kept feeling water covering my face.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And they're all the 2 girls, they're expanse and spans of land, like where you'd plant hay or straw. I'm seeing expanse of land, rows and rows of rolling hills.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. All right. Next up, Onae. Come on down. Welcome to the show. Hello.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you. I will give you the secret handshake, right? She can't even hear me. Yeah, I'm used to it.
Oh, man. Polo.
Marco.
So anyway, it's OIL. So, but anyway, the first one with the brunette, that's how I call number one. And what I was getting with her was, I was looking at all three of them actually, and like I was getting a lot of things were just kind of coming at me, and they still kind of are, because it's like I feel like something says to me like two of them might have had like either a copycat kind of scenario, or maybe there was something connected to them in some way. I think maybe the first, the brunette, and then the one on the lower bottom of the screen might have known their attacker in some form. I feel like the one on the blonde on the top might, I think she was just kind of more stalked than anything. It may have been, I'm not sure if it was exactly the same kind of scenario as the others, but I feel like the two on the left, like, or the one on the left, or is it the left? I think it's the left. I'm looking at the screen and I'm seeing the one on the left, the brunette, and the lower one. I'm feeling that they were like more around water, around whatever this is. There was a definitely water feature. I'm feeling the other one was more of the blonde on the top. It was more of a stalker situation, and I don't feel like there was water around her necessarily. But I do feel like when I was asking what the cars were coming at me, they're showing me cars, and one was a station wagon, one was like a VW Bug, and one was like a sedan. And I was like asking like, okay, who or what was connected to which one? And I'm not really sure, because it's like looking at three people and it's like getting all kinds of stuff coming at me. The brunette, I'm getting like definitely head trauma. There's definitely some kind of head trauma. I feel like she did kind of know who was with, how she became missing. I'm not really sure she's even gone completely. I mean, I think she might still, there might be a possibility that she is here. I don't know. But I feel like there's definitely head trauma with her. And I feel like maybe there's like some kind of, like a station wagon related to her in some form. They just showed me a station wagon, so I'm just going to go with that when I talk about her. They gave me the word yellow. I don't know what that means. And then something about boots, yellow boots or something. I'm feeling like seeing yellow boots, and I don't know if they're like rubber or just like shiny or what, but that's what I'm kind of getting. I don't know if that has to do with her or any of them, but like that's what I was getting. Like they keep showing me boots, and I feel like rubber, those rubber boots. And so I'm trying to stick with her. She reminds me of like Brooke Shields, actually, when I look at her. But I feel like there's definitely water, like either she lived near water or water's nearby her or something. And I think she and the bottom one definitely had similar instances with their going missing. And I don't think the bottom one is here with us at all. I think she's gone, but the meaning by similar is like they knew and were familiar with who they went missing, who attacked them or grabbed them or whatever the situation was. I don't think the blonde on the top knew. I think she was just stalked, because they're saying stalker. When I look at her, they say stalker. And also when I look at her, I got, something around, like, I don't know if she's like in a mountainous area or they were just kind of showing me she wasn't necessarily near water, or lives near water, but I did feel like she was probably, might have been when I was like, why I have all these cars, like kind of I try to identify who had what car, like related to them in some form around their case. And I got the VW Bug for her. I don't, I'm just kind of going on looking at all three of them, and all this information is kind of just downloading fast at me. And then I have a 4-door sedan, or like whatever those cars are, just like a regular 4-door car for the one on the bottom. I do definitely feel like she did know who she was with when she left. I don't feel like she necessarily felt like the intent was negative at first. But I definitely feel like with her, it's definitely a head trauma as well. But the other one, I'm feeling like when I'm looking at them both, I'm like, all three of them, I'm feeling like there's something on my ankles and my wrists. So I don't know what the heck. I don't know if that's like just being grabbed and held tight or what's going on there. And I feel like it's more the blonde on the top. So there's like so many things that are coming at me, and it's like I'm trying to like identify which one goes to which. And but the bottom one, I'm feeling like there's something in the throat. I can't breathe. I'm having a hard time breathing with this one. And I really kind of feel like maybe she possibly is gone, and on the other side, so released basically from that trauma. But I feel like the top one here on the brunette, I feel like there might be a possibility that she might still be around. But I do feel like something happened to her vision or something, because they're like making my vision kind of like blindfolded or something. I don't know what this is, but there's something happening to my vision with her when I look at the brunette. The blonde one, though, I definitely feel that she was stalked, because they're saying stalker. So I could keep going on, but I think probably I chatted enough.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. All right. Stand by, Onae. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've got somebody that's famous that entered the building. And welcome. Hello there, Inbaal. How are you doing? Just unmute yourself. You're muted, dear. Yeah. All right, here, let's bring you up. How are you doing there, dear?
I'm great, thank you. How are you guys?
Wonderful. Nice to have you back. So I've been keeping up with all your news articles and magazines, so congratulations.
Yeah, there was a lot of predictions for the UK elections, so that
Right.
was an exciting. I love it when stuff is like really provable, right on the nose, who wins, who loses, because we're not here to mess around, we're here to get facts.
Right.
Right. So as always, I don't look at the people's pictures before we start. So I'm pulling them up on my screen now. And I use tarot cards to basically sort of do questions and answers. So let's have a little look and see what comes up. So I'm going to start with some general cards to see what the circumstances might have been. Right. It looks like it was all ladies together in a way that was supposed to be a very chilled out, happy occasion, like a celebration or an evening out. And it looks like it started going wrong quite early on. What it shows is at first sort of 3 cheers, hurrah. So there might have been some alcoholic drinks, some merriment being shared, and it looks like shortly after there's something wrong with the drinks. So I don't know if there was too much alcohol or if somebody had slipped something into somebody's cup, like a poisoning, like a purposeful date drug. And it shows that the moment it started going wrong, there wasn't a lot of time for the victim or victims to be confused, because somebody came into the story and made things very, very difficult immediately. So it looks like it's something that happened quite quickly. It's showing me one of the people being surrounded by others, and it's showing me a sharp implement. So like a knife, a sword, something like that. Let me see what we've got following the incident. Very interestingly, it looks like there is the involvement and possibly the concealment of at least one of those people with kind of the aid of their loved ones. What it shows is that something like a partner, a family member has covered up the tracks to make things a lot harder to figure out. So there's a good amount of concealment in a way that makes it absolutely impossible to find at least 2 of them. So let me go into each one separately. So the way that I've got the photos laid out, I've got a brunette with long hair, I've got a blonde with long hair, and then I've got a blonde with short hair. So the brunette with long hair, blonde with long hair, and blonde with short hair. Right. So the worst card that comes up is for the blonde with short hair. And here it's showing again some kind of drink, some kind of liquid, like a drowning. So again, there could have been some kind of poisoning going on. Whereas the long-haired ladies, there seems to be more of a chaos around them. The long-haired brunette seems to go back and forth. So if this is in any way a situation where people ended up not alive, she might have been the one who survived the longest, because I see her being driven around. The long-haired blonde seems to have known the attackers or perpetrators or whatever they are, and here it looks like there was an opportunity for her potentially to escape, but she stayed behind to help the others, or that she wasn't thinking fast enough. So in a really interesting way, it doesn't look like it was a situation that included everybody equally, but rather different situations that are tied together in a different sort of way. There's sort of slightly different methods with everybody. Let me ask if there's any clues or a paper trail or anything that could help us home in on an attacker or perpetrator. It looks like there are not a lot of clues left in terms of planning. So it may have been somebody who is a lone wolf that planned whatever was going on, that planned it themselves, and therefore there's not been a lot of interaction, no emails, no letters being left behind. Or if the people being involved with it had ended up expiring themselves. It also shows that there have not been physical traces. So whoever brought trouble to these ladies' thresholds was also in possession of knowledge, in possession of expertise on how to get rid of evidence. I keep seeing, okay, this is really weird. I keep seeing like an acid, maybe an acid that was used to ingest footsteps or their clothes afterwards. And in my mind, that links with what I saw before, like a fluid, like a drowning. There's something there. Either it's the same acid or it's somebody who had some kind of expertise in dangerous liquids, dangerous fluids, and had used that expertise to create different formulas that would work with each person. The only bit of evidence that might be found is like a burning, like a burn on the ground, or an inexplicable burn mark in at the front of somebody's house. But that appears circumstantial at best, because it doesn't link the victim and the perpetrator. It only creates an extra air of mystery. So that's what I'm picking up there. I am absolutely holding on to finding out what we already know.
Yes, fascinating. So stand by. Wonderful. Well, hello, Jennifer. So I think a couple of things are starting to add up in my book. So what do you think?
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
all All right, one more here, ladies and gentlemen. So stand by here. Let's bring her up. And let's see here. And action. I guess it helps if I hit play, doesn't it?
It does.
Hi, everybody. I'm happy to be here. Riz gave us a case. It was a picture of 3 women. I'll just put it up like this. That is what Grizz gave us. And that's everything that he done. The actions I took to work on this case is I performed intuitive evidential mediumship to determine the weapons, location, possible suspects, possible homicide motive if it's a homicide, any kind of information that I could possibly get. So the first impression I received just by looking at the image was that these 3 beautiful ladies are deceased. The motive for this crime is several things, I feel. The person of interest knew one of the ladies and was infatuated with her. I do get that there's one male, and I'll go into more detail of what I was shown happened. I feel the victim did know her attacker. She did not know him on a personal level, but she was aware of who he was. I feel that the location of the remains are in a barrel. Possible like a silver looking barrel with red letters or something red on it. I believe the way they were murdered was by a knife and by their hands. And they were each done individually. The person of interest has other charges against them. I feel like they've been in trouble before, possibly for the same kind of crime, because I do feel that they have murdered before. So here's the summary that I got. I feel these 3 ladies knew each other. I feel like they were either friends or something of that. They all 3 knew each other. I feel they are deceased. I am shown the letters S, and I'm showing this 3 times. So I don't know what it means. I'm showing SSS. So I don't know what that means. The person of interest is a male, and I feel he worked with his hands, such as a mechanic or, and then what was weird though, I was shown working with the hands. I was shown mechanic. Then I was shown like someone like a cable person or an electric person. Again, he knew at least one of the victims. He had a thing for her. He liked her, and there was no mutual thing there. There is something, and this right here, I have no clue what this means, but there's something about a lie that was told by the person of interest. Someone, either he told the lie or someone he knows told a lie about something. The month of June is important, and I feel this happened like, quite some time ago. I feel like this is a very, it's a cold case, is what I feel. And I want to say 80s to 90s that this occurred. I was shown like possibly, it's sort of weird how spirit shows me, and it was like there was a graduation or there was something that was being celebrated. I'll put it that way. But I seen caps and gowns, so that told me graduation. And I seen the color yellow. And then all of a sudden I heard breaking of glass, and I don't know what that means, if that was breaking of a window, but something was broke. And I feel like the bodies won't be found because I'm shown acid, and therefore it makes me feel like acid was used to get rid of the bodies. Then I was shown a white house, and it either had like brick on it or rock or something like that. I was shown the letters and the numbers. Well, basically, I was shown 1 letter and 4 numbers. I was showed 1717, and the word, which could be a name of a person or it could be a place, and it was either Delmar or Delmont. Not for sure. I I know it's D-A-L, D-E-L or D-A-L at the beginning of the word. And the person of interest, I feel their first name starts with the letter R. And like I said, he has done this before. I was also shown that he could have possibly been in the military. And again, I don't feel like they will be found. And, he was like, he had been watching this girl for quite some time. And then he thought it would be easy, I feel, to do what he done. And I do have a sketch of the person that I believe that done this. So let me show that.
Sorry, I didn't even blow you. What the heck? There we go. I was trying to make her big.
I'm trying, guys. Give me a second. So that is who I feel is the perpetrator or the person of interest. This is the way he would look back at the time that this occurred. I feel that he, I don't know, he just had this thing about him, this persona about him that, he could do whatever he wanted. And he's an attention grabber also. He thinks that, his looks and stuff should get him everywhere, that type of thing. Again, I feel that these people, these three beautiful ladies are deceased, and it's a very, very sad situation. But anyway, that's everything I got. Let me stop sharing the screen. All right. I truly appreciate you, Grizz. I love you, and we haven't got to speak yet, but we will soon. But anyway, if there's anything else I can do, let me know. All right. Love all of you.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen, and action.
Volunteers walked the railroad tracks along South Glenstone near the Levitt home. Nearby, women's pictures out the window of the Missouri Crime Center. Inside, Stacy McCall's father shared the anguish, the ups and downs of 6 days without word from his daughter.
It's no better today than it was the first day. I can't say it's a lot worse either. It's just kind of, you're in a numbness state, not knowing what's out there, what the outcome is going to be.
The families want to thank the SpringField police and especially the public for the outpouring of support in an understandably difficult time of waiting.
It's overwhelming. It really is. There's times when you feel overwhelmed with, you just didn't know those people were out there.
Meanwhile, SpringField police revealed their search along the tracks did at least produce some possible evidence.
Yes, we recovered a pair of ladies' panties and one Nike shoe. We do not know at this time whether or not they're associated with the disappearance of the ladies. But again, it was articles that were out of place, should not have been there.
Police are also seeking 2 vehicles stolen around the time of the three's disappearance early June 7th. A burgundy 1987 Toyota Supra 2-door, license LTS 217. It was taken from the Battlefield Mall. And a dark blue 1985 Dodge van-type motorhome taken from the 1500 block of South Glenstone. The vehicle did not have any plates when stolen.
These 2 particular vehicles.
All right, stand by. And
This 1992, 3 women in central Springfield went missing. It appeared they'd been abducted. Stacy McCall, Suzanne Streeter, Sherrill Levitt's disappearance has been one of the most infamous cases in Springfield.
there's the White
Springfield
House.
Police, the FBI, and numerous other agencies have searched for leads,
Stone.
but they've all come up empty. The day before their disappearance, Stacy McCall, high school, they went to Suzanne's home where her mother, Sherrill Levitt, lived. Heard from any of them again. Any info on this case, the missing people, urged to contact Springfield Police Department, or you can always call Crime Stoppers, 417-869-TIPS.
And
This mobile police command post sits outside Sherrill home while SpringField. Here, along with a doctor, talk with neighbors or anyone else who might have some information about the 3 missing women.
We set that post up at approximately 6 p.m. last night, and at 6:30 we've got our first lead out of there. A lot of the public that lives in that area or drives through that area is stopping by, taking advantage of an officer actually being on site for them to talk to, and some lead cards are developing out of the command post.
Officers and volunteers combed remote areas in and around Springfield this weekend. The search turned up some items, but like others found before, there's no indication they're related to the disappearance.
But you saw the river, but you just didn't see them down there.
More than 24 detectives continue working leads around the clock, and leads continue to pour in.
As long as you have leads to follow, your hopes remain high. Frustration develops whenever you're out of leads and you've went through your case 3 or 4 times. You can't think of anything else new to do.
2 people closely associated with the women have passed polygraph tests. Glenn says 3 to 5 more people will be asked to take them, and perhaps many more before the case is over.
If the police still follow every lead that comes in and follow it to its end, one of these days we're going to find out, because somebody knows. She headed off and we said our goodbyes and kissed goodbye and had no idea that that would be the last time we would see our daughter.
With all their personal belongings there, their purses, their jewelry, obviously at that point you think something is wrong. There was no signs of struggle inside the house at all. And how it went down from there is almost impossible. Someone had to take complete control of those 3 persons.
With 5,000 plus leads at the time, it's very difficult to triage which ones you need to focus on.
25 years is unbelievable. That, we have no answers.
What do you have?
So there was a suspect in the investigation. And if you bring up, was it Melinda's photo? And I just messaged you a photo of the suspect. His name is Robert Craig.
No way. Are you serious?
I'm serious. Before McCall and Streeter and Levitt vanished, Robert Craig Cox was convicted of killing a woman in Florida.
The front door, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out. This is crazy. Look at that.
Yeah. I as soon as I saw that photo, I wanted to see what that picture was. And she said R.
Wow.
So apparently at the time, this guy pleaded guilty to kidnapping and assault in California and served 9 years in prison before being convicted of the murder of Sharon Zellers in Orlando, Florida, and was sentenced to death. That conviction was overturned due to a lack of evidence. After that, he moved to Springfield, Missouri. He stirred up a lot of interest. At the time, in the weeks following the girls' abductions, Cox's girlfriend provided him an alibi, saying that they were together when the women disappeared. But she eventually confessed to the police that her statement was a lie. And a prosecutor went to see Mr. Cox in prison, and all he would tell the prosecutor is, quote, about the missing women is, quote, I know that they are dead. I'll say that, and I know that.
Wow. So interesting. So what I find very interesting, ladies and gentlemen, is that the acid, the yellow boots, right? What is that indicative of when you're messing with acid? Boots. We did that in Breaking Bad, right? And when they were making, you know what? So, I mean, I hate to say that, but I'm just saying, but yes.
And the glass that was broken is that the only sign at the house, and the police arrived when the girls were reported missing, the only thing out of place was the porch light was broken and there was glass on the porch.
Aha.
There you go.
And so I guess at this time, the SOB is dead. Am I saying correct?
The last contact with him is he was in a prison in Texas. He was the conviction that he was sentenced to death for was overturned.
Yeah, Dolores. So anytime somebody makes a comment like that, it is circumstantial, right?
Sure.
So a confession and an admission, it's two different things. So if I interview Onae and Onae tells me, yeah, I slash Inbaal's tires, that is an admission. That's not a confession. A confession is grisly. I was so upset at Inbaal, I was furious and enraged. I went to the kitchen and grabbed a butcher knife. I went outside and with rage, I stabbed each tire. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is a confession. So that is a difference. So you got to understand that, right? So when somebody drops a hint, that is more like, hey, suckers, you ain't going to catch me because you have nothing, right? That is pretty, twist. That is crazy.
Wow.
Onae's like,
another
really?
thing
You're going to have to use me? I'm sorry. You're just staring at me. So.
Well, and then you can look at it that even if he had nothing to do with it, the fact that he was even considered could be an ego stroke, and he could be messing with them. Like, okay, fine, yeah, say it was me. You'll have nothing on me too. There's that way, because people who can commit these kinds of crimes, their brains just don't work like ours.
That's crazy. Scot free. Well, I mean, he's in prison. If he's still alive, he ain't going to be able to commit any other crimes. So with that being said, what will law enforcement do? Move on, right? Because he's no harm, no foul. He's not going to be able to do any other crime in society. So that's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you're right, Photos. I totally agree. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. But ladies and gentlemen, if you have a case you want us to work on, Leanne, make sure and send us to you. Yeah, Gene, I totally agree. The family can't move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? But don't forget, we got a show tonight at 9 p.m. Tune in for that. And from coast to coast around the world, ladies and gentlemen, make sure and tune in. And Godspeed. We'll see you here shortly. Bye-bye.
Good one.